Hey, hey, good morning. Today, excuse me, but I'm kind of tired. I was out in this heat. It's already 95 degrees. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. It is hot out today. It's going to get to 110, they're saying, so I want to get this done early before it's a real sweat box in this studio of mine. So, what am excuse me. Can you see me okay? Okay, because what I'm going to do here is I've got a good view for you of my wheel, right? I've got my bat already on there. See, this is a bat, and it's made out of some composite material. It's got holes in it to attach to the nipples of the wheel head, and I'll show you those. Well, actually, I probably can't show you those. It's too far, and this thing is way too heavy. This sucker is way too heavy to lift up to do a close-up. So you're going to have to imagine nipples, but not the kind that never mind. Okay, so the hole there goes on. There's two nipples on here. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, Jesus. Hey, what am I supposed to do with this? Somebody tell me. Come on, yeah, tell me. Yeah, that's right. I got to take it off. Now, yesterday I took it off and I panicked. I couldn't find it. This ring is so special to me, I almost started crying. Seriously, I almost started having a weird panic attack and started crying because this ring is so special. So anyways, in the pocket it goes. All right. Thank you for putting up with me. I'm kind of sweaty from working, helping a friend of mine out with her animals, her horse and stuff, and I'm just kind of a little bit hyped up because, I helped a friend this morning and I felt good. So, okay, we're going to just do some basic stuff. I probably won't even finish the piece for you on the wheel, but, I want to make sure that the first time through, I'm giving you as much information as possible. And speaking of information, I should take these off so you can see my eyes. You see my eyes? Oh, what color are they today? They change color with the clothing. You probably know that already. It kind of picks up the green. I like green. I like to tell people I have green eyes, but really they're hazel. Okay, enough. I digress. So, boys and girls, moms and dads, uncles and aunts, grandpas, listen up. We've gone over wedging. We've gone over the tools that you have at your wheel, at your disposal. Before you start, make sure you have good quantity of water. I have water here. Okay. You can kind of see it, right? Okay. It's got a lot of residual clay on the bottom, but that's good because that helps it with your slurring process. Then I have a bucket here on the floor that is about half full. I probably normally would fill it all the way if I was going to be throwing for some time because I'm going to go through some water. I'm not going to be demonstrating how you throw dry. And that ain't happening. That might be like lesson number 47 or something. Okay? So, we're going to get started. Okay? I got my tools. You can't see them, but I got all my tools here just like I showed you yesterday. My pin is right where it should be. And now I have a bag of clay here. Now, you're going to find very common for beginners to put too much clay on the wheel. Even this amount here for a beginner, too much. So I'm going to show you what a beginner should start out with. Okay? Reason being, this is a good amount for a beginner. I don't have a scale to weigh it out. A lot of studios, they have scales, they weigh it out because, it's a cost. How much clay you're using. You have a lot that you can recycle, but recycling takes time and effort away from actually doing your regular creative work. That's kind of those sorts of things, recycling your clay and doing glaze experiments and stuff. That's that's not the very sexy stuff about being a potter, and people like to think that potters are sexy. I tell you what, I don't know about that because, yeah. Anyways, so this is a good amount for you to start with. It fits comfortably in your hand. It does not feel too heavy. You can easily hold it up. Even a little kid, well, a kid of 10 years old or older could easily hold this clay. I would guess it's probably about 3 pounds, okay? Let's say it's 3 pounds. Certainly no more. So, a little bit of water on my fingers. Took it out of my slop bucket. Just a little bit. That gives you some stick on your wheel head. Now, we call this throwing clay, right? We throw a pot. You know why? It's because of this right here. You want to aim for the middle and you throw it on there. Now I missed, but because it's still on that stuck part, I can very gently move it so that it's in center. Now, I want my wheel to spin, don't I? What haven't I done? Somebody tell me, what have I not done? You may not actually know this answer, so that's not fair. What I have not done is turn the wheel on. This is an electric wheel. It has a pedal. It has a switch. Oh, you see it's moving already. Maybe you can't see it. Anyways, it has a pedal that I use with my right foot. It can be either foot, doesn't matter. Okay? But that pedal controls the spin. Can you see that spinning? Can you see that? I'm sorry, I can't bring the camera, well, my smartphone. I can't bring it any closer and get a good shot of everything. Because I want you to be able to see me, see my hands, and because I got the cheapo thing to hold the tripod, yeah, it's a tripod. I got the cheapo tripod. It's very limited as to what angle I can come at. Maybe sometime I'm going to mount it above on the rafters here, and it'll come down, and you'll look down on it. That's probably going to be a really good solution. But anyways, right now you're going to get a view of me doing my thing, okay? I may not be talking as much because I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly for you, so I may not be talking as much, but you're going to want to watch my hands. I'm going to try and move this water a little bit so it's in the view. It's not really too good. Well, anyways, when you see my hand go over here, I'm reaching for water, okay? So we're going to start out, not too much water. I've got my elephant ear sponge. I just have the water in it, and I just go like this. So a nice coating of water. Some of it is spun off around onto the wheel, okay? Again, well, I shouldn't say again because we haven't actually done this. Hands are working together. I lock thumbs, okay? Hands have to work together to really be efficient on the wheel. If you're like this, you're going to go kittywampus. It's going to just continue to go out of center. And when I say center, it means that the ball of clay is spinning in an equal diameter around the center of the wheel head. That's your clay then is centered. So what I do, right? Lock hands, or right? Okay? And I just put even pressure. I'm not using my fingers too much at this point. It's all here and maybe this part of your thumb, okay? If you have arthritis, this part could hurt, so be careful. Take it easy on yourself, okay? So, what I'm doing here, oh, you see it came loose on me. That's not good. Not good, Chuck. Okay, got a little emergency here. You're going to be learning something. I call myself Chuck, which I hate. And if any of you ever call me Chuck, I'm not inviting you back. That's for damn sure. So I got to start again. Because it slips on me, and once it slips, you're not going to get it back until you do something like this. So I got to start over again. Okay? And then this happens. This happens to the best of them. I've seen very talented and experienced potters have these same issues. So don't think that it's just happening to me because I'm a flunky, okay? I don't want you to think that. I am a flunky, but that's not why this happened, okay? So, again, a little bit, I'm just going to put not as much water on there. I want just enough to get this thing to stick. Okay, again, throwing it. Boom! Oh, missed a little bit, but I think I can get it. I think I can get it. Okay? So, sometimes you'll see when we start the throwing, people will do this. They just kind of coax it a little bit into center. I don't know if it really helps or not. I think it's more of a psychological thing. So, I'm not going to use as much water. I think what happened was I loaded up my elephant ear sponge with too much water, and I had too much water on the wheel, and it actually seeped underneath and loosened it up. So I'm not using nearly as much water. I'm just going to use my fingers and pour some. Okay? Again, what are we going to do? Locking thumbs. Okay? Let's see how this goes. Somebody out there, send some good vibes, please. Help me out. Throw me a bone here, will you? Okay. All right. And I'm feeling it starting to grab, so I need to get more water. It's a dangerous balancing act here. Okay. Now I'm going to push down on it. Hopefully that'll help it. Yeah, you see, I recovered. So what I did was I first kind of brought it up a little bit, but not as much as I normally would because I was afraid it was going to slip again. So centering, for me, is a motion of bringing it up into a cone and taking it down. Bringing it up, taking it down. Bringing it up into a cone, pushing it down. Thumbs are locked, right? Okay. So, the other thing with centering, you want your wheel head going a good speed, because that centrifugal force and the soft clay is going to help it take that shape. Okay, so I'm bringing it up. There's my cone. You see that? You see that? This is important. Okay, now I'm going to use this part, and this thumb on top. So I'm using this part of my right hand, right? Remember, you're seeing everything in reverse. Right hand, left hand on top. Okay, a little bit of water there, and I just go, and I just. The thing about with working with clay on the wheel, at any juncture, anytime, when you come in contact, when you're going to get in contact with the clay again, be very gentle on it. Think like you're just petting your kitty cat, okay? Or your dog, or your lizard, or your tarantula. Think about you're petting something, something that you really love. You're showing their affection, okay? Love the clay, love the clay. So, now I'm going to bring this up again, okay? See how I moved it down? You see that? Okay? I'm going to bring it up again. Okay, and this is just, my thumbs aren't locked, but they are touching. Okay, they could be locked, but remember they were at least touching. I'm going to bring that up into a cone again. Okay, I could bring it up further, and I should have my wheel spinning faster. Okay, I was not. Okay. Okay, now this is kind of dangerous because I kind of have this is straight. You want a better cone than that. So when I come back down, I'm going to have to be very careful to do it slowly so I don't run into a problem here with this, then potentially causing an air bubble, throwing it off center. So I'm going to come down. I'm just going to come down really slowly. And I can already feel it. It's coming out of center on me, and that's because I had not the proper cone shape. So I'm probably going to discover when I go to actually make a piece, which I won't show you today, okay? But if I was to use this to go and make a piece, right, a completed piece, I'm probably going to run across at least 1 or 2 or 3 bubbles. And guess what? That's what this is for. The needle is going to be my friend dealing with those bubbles. So again, I put it right back where it belongs, right where it lives. Okay, I'm gonna do another cone shape this time. Hopefully, it's the right cone shape. Hopefully, I get it right this time. Don't you think so? I think you're gonna hope for it too. All right, here we go. Watch. I'm not gonna say anything, and you're not gonna be able to see too much of what I'm doing. But think in terms of I'm just making a cone. Okay,
Got the wheel head going a little bit faster than I had it. A little bit more water. Okay, we're coming up, we're coming up. Okay, that's a good cone right there. Look at that. I want to try and clean this off so that you can get a good view of that. Because that is a good cone. Heck of a lot better than the last one I did. Much better effort, Charles. Much better effort. I have to congratulate myself on that. Just kind of getting some slop off of my hands here. Okay, now with all that slop, important folks, I think I talked about this yesterday, maybe not. Have a towel close by. Your hands are getting too sloppy, wet and stuff, it's going to give you problems on your pieces, okay? You want moisture, but you don't want it to be like sloppy with a lot of clay residue, right? So, I've got a nice cone here, correct, Amundo? Okay. I'm going to come down one more time, and then I'm going to open it up for you. And then that's pretty much going to be the end of it today, because I don't want to fill your brains with too much stuff, okay? I think this will be enough, just going over how to center and then how to open, okay? So, all right, locking hands with thumbs, using this, right? If you come over and you're doing it like this, you're going to run into a problem. You got to make sure that you've got a solid part of one of your hands over the top and then the other one on top of it. So, okay, so this one is my hand that's actually going to be pushing the clay. On this pad, your pad of your thumb, some people use another part, but all the work is in the palm of your hand, okay? Some people actually use the center part of the palm. I prefer the padding because I'm so thin, right? So, this is on the clay, this is over top, and we go. Okay? And it's okay, I've got a little bit of a wobble, but it's going to be okay, people. It's going to be okay. Okay, now it's too dry. The friction has dried it out. I need to be able to get a nice smooth. Okay. Okay. So you may not be able to see this. You may be able to. I can't tell. But I have a little bit of a wobble, but I think it's going to work. I'm not too concerned about it. You know, if you're taking a class and a teacher's going to grade you on that and say, oh, it's not centered. And he or she is right. It's not centered. But it's workable. You can work with it. You can make something out of it that is pretty, that is just you, that expresses the moments when you're making it. And that's the important thing. I don't go for, a perfect anything, because there is not a perfect nothing. Or anything, I guess I should say. In fact, I'm going to do this and I'm going to tell you a story. Remind me to do that story. It's about a Navajo weaver, okay? Remember that, Navajo weaver. It's a good story that's instructive of what I've just been talking about perfection, okay? So, we're going to finish up here and then I'll tell you that story. You won't be here for more than 3 more minutes. So be patient, okay? You're almost done. So, we're going to open this up. Right now I've got a nice little thing opening. What I use is this part of my thumb with the pressure of mine, okay? So I come in like this, all right? I'm not using this part anymore of my hands. I'm using the thumb, but I've got the other thumb on top to help with it, okay? So I come down like this. I make a little bit of a concave, right? Like that. Okay, now my thumbs are starting to grab. I want a little bit of water. Once you feel it starting to grab, you need a little bit of water, not too much. I added enough water so that it glistens, and then there's a tiniest little bit in the center there. And I'm sorry you can't see that. I know I'm doing the best I can with the video end of it, and I hope that my running commentary isn't too much for you. Because I had said that I was going to be doing a lot of this without saying anything, but I think actually I've been saying probably too much. So anyways, back at it. Okay, I'm going to finish that. Now I'm going to come in with the point of my thumb and I'm going to just push that in there. Now, boys and girls, and anybody else out there, your pet cat, my cat was just here, okay? This is the most difficult part of throwing as far as I'm concerned. Trying to gauge that bottom. You don't want to bottom out on the wheel head. Then whatever you're throwing is not going to have a bottom. You know, whatever you put in it is going to flow right out. So you don't want to bottom out. You want to be able to gauge it, and that takes a lot of practice. It's something that you're just going to learn over time. I tend to probably make my bottoms a little bit too thick, but you can trim off. You can trim. So even if your bottom actually, in other words, the bottom of where you go in to the wheel head is like that thick, you know, like maybe 3/4 of an inch thick, you can trim all that off when you go to the step of where you put the thing back on the wheel after it's dried to like leather hard, and then you trim it with your trimming tools, right? These are trimming tools that we talked about yesterday. Okay, there's a few others here. You can trim that away. So if anything, you want to err on the side of making it too thick. So I'm just going to leave that like that. It's probably a little bit too thick, but I'm going to leave it anyways. So, okay, I interrupted, but I'm okay because I bottomed out. I didn't stop until I bottomed out where I wanted to be. That's important. You want to just continue that motion until where you want to be. Don't stop here and then like that. You want to once you go to open it, you want to go all the way to where you want your bottom to be, and then use a little bit more speed on the wheel, and then I just using this finger or maybe two fingers and my thumb, I just kind of bring that wall, and the wall is going to start coming up for you. It's just going to start coming up, so you don't have to force it. Okay. I didn't force that at all. I got a little bit of clay off of there. I didn't force it though. Okay. Now's where I need some more moisture on the outside, and I'm actually working an inside and an outside of this clay. And I got a little bit too much. Where's my sponge? Right. What happened to my sponge? Anybody see my sponge? Oh, where'd it go? Sometimes they end up going here. Huh. Did it go down? Oh yeah, it fell down into my other bucket. It fell down onto the floor into the other bucket. So, okay. And I've got too much water on the inside. Okay. Okay. So, this is not a particularly good shape, so I'm going to have to be careful, because if I go right in here and pull too hard, I'm going to have a big knob at the, and I want to have even walls. So, see what I can do. I'm going to use this part. I'm going to use this part here with the thumb in unison, that, and then on the inside I'm using my fingers. These two fingers right here, okay? We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to very, very gently pull it up. Very gently pull it up. And then I finish it off with this. You always, after every pull, you want to finish off the top, which is going to be your lip. You want to finish that off every time. Okay? I add a little bit more moisture. I'm going to go down one more time. Okay, and I'm going to try and pick that up off the wheel head and come up. And I slowed down the wheel just a little bit because it felt like it was kind of having a tendency to, okay, finishing off the lip with this curl of your index finger, right? You could use, whatever fingers you're comfortable with. I don't recommend the pinky or, what is this, a ring finger. Don't use those. You don't get enough leverage. Okay? So we're going to do this just one more time, and then I want to tell you that story. Okay? So, I'm just coming along very slowly, very slowly, very slowly. Okay? All right. Okay, folks, that's all I'm going to do today. I do want to show you, you can't see it, but I want to show you what you do to deal with this. Here is deep enough, it gets that excess water. You do not want standing water inside there. It could cause a cracking if you leave standing water in there for it to dry. It's just not good practice because then you don't have an even drying. You've got one area that stays wet a lot longer than the other area. Okay, I'm just cleaning up my wheel a little bit right here. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So, that is the beginnings of a thrown piece, and we're going to stop right there. This, I could probably make a mug out of this, a coffee mug. I would bring this out and then back in to form a lip for you to drink out of. I don't have any samples here to show you what a finished one might look like. But anyways, so I was going to tell you a story. Now I'm trying to remember what it was going to be about. I can't remember. Dang it. I got to shut this off. I can't remember the story I was supposed to tell you about. Oh, it's about perfection and about a Navajo weaver that I talked with. The old time Navajo weavers, the elderly women, and I think maybe some men, but I think it's pretty much a woman thing. The tradition was that they would purposefully make a mistake in the weaving because the human condition is not perfection. None of us are perfect, and so they didn't want to try and act like they were a god or a special deity or a special spiritual person or anything. They humbled themselves by actually putting a mistake in their weavings. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I've seen those weavings, and they are absolutely gorgeous. If you ever have a chance to go to the Hubbell Trading Post, write this down. Hubbell Trading Post, just outside of Canyon de Chelly, Arizona. It's on the border of Arizona and New Mexico. You will be in for a treat because they have demonstrations there of the weavers. And if you're nice and polite, you can actually talk with one of them, not while they're weaving, but when they're done or when they're observing another weaver or whatnot. You just want to go in there with a certain amount of respect and, because you got to recognize that's their space. You're in their space. But isn't that really something? I don't do that. But what the point is for me is I'm not concerned with being perfection. I'm not concerned with this being absolutely perfectly centered. My instructor is, and I may get marked down from an A to a B, but you know what? I'm not doing this for a grade. I'm doing this because I want to, right? I'm doing this because I love it. Even when I was doing this in high school, I loved the feeling. I loved it. It was my expressions. So, that's enough on that. But I want to show you one thing. I'm going to use this. I normally would use, and I can't use that because it's going to deteriorate and mess up my clay. Excuse me, just a moment, and then I really will let you go. But I want to do something. I'm going to cut into this, and I'll show you what the wall looks like on the inside. You ready? This is the reveal. Okay? Now, let's see here. I wish I had better, I should have this colored so it'd be better to see it. But you see how this is thicker? It shouldn't be. This wall, this outside wall should come like this. Alright? And this will come like this. The outside wall should be even when you're finished up. So I have more work to do here. And I knew that. I knew I had more work to do, but I want to show you just, okay? But they are, pretty even. You've got plenty of thickness here for doing things, and I've got the excess clay here to be pulling it up higher because if I'm going to make a mug out of this, I'm probably going to pull it up about like that. So I have enough clay to do that. Needle goes back where it belongs. Okay? Hey, I think that's it. I think that I've covered this pretty good for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're in the heat zone, which I think about 2/3 of the country is, be safe, okay? Drink plenty of water. Agua, drink plenty of water. And if you sweat like me,
Everybody else is sweating, so don't worry about it. Actually, it doesn't smell too bad because it's really good, honest sweat. It's not, it's not dishonest, stinky sweat. It's good stuff. See ya. I love you. I do. You guys are great. I gotta shut it off here. You guys are just too much. You put up with my craziness. But potters are like that. Bye. Hasta la vista, baby.